Why is everybody taking the Panthers and think the Panthers are going to squeak into the playoffs? Like, what is it about the Panthers?
That division's
what is it about them?
Because after the Buccaneers, that division's really who can finish second. It's up for anything.
The Saints are pretty stale. It's still pretty damn
Saints
good.
are still good.
But hold on. Jameis Winston is a huge question mark.
I agree with you.
Huge question mark.
I agree with you, but you have Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas. That defense is good. Their offensive
Michael
line
Thomas
is
means
good.
nothing if James Winston's not hitting him.
Well, you got to remember, it depends on if Michael Thomas is also there because he might get traded.
Well.
I don't think he's getting traded. I don't think anybody. First of all, nobody's going to give up what I heard they want for Michael Thomas. I mean, I'm hearing 2 first-round draft picks.
Oh, that's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen. They're not going to get that. Why is it that the Panthers are now? Sam Darnold is an upgrade. I know he's not, Teddy Bridgewater in the beginning of the season was fantastic, and then he fell off. Matt Rule, everybody keeps thinking that he's an offensive guru. Offensively, what did he show last year in the second half that made him a guru? What did we see last year with the Carolina Panthers that made Matt Rule, oh my God, this guy's a guru? Honestly, he was one of the worst coaches in the second half of the season.
I think what a lot of people like, and I know Dave was mentioning it too yesterday when we had him on the show, the way that the Panthers competed in a lot of different games too. And Jeff was saying that thing with the Jaguars. They lost a lot of those games. The Panthers were kind of the same way. They hung tough with Tampa in both meetings against them. They hung tough with the Chiefs. So they played well against good teams. And I think maybe now getting some defensive improvements. They had a good draft with that. They added Denzel Perriman in the offseason to upgrade at linebacker to go with Shaq Thompson. And their veteran pass rushers are a lot better than they've been in the past too, where that defense should be able to mold together a little bit. You had guys that played well, young guys that played well last year and overperformed. And I think that's what maybe because if they are not confident in the Saints, that's why a lot of people do end up liking him. Just because the NFC West teams, probably 3 teams are going to make it. I probably still have them just out of the playoffs, but I definitely could see them rising for sure.
Anthony, is there some reason why everybody thinks the Carolina Panthers are going to just explode?
Personally, I mean, even with the additions that they've made, draft picks and all that stuff, with the exception of the obvious change at starting quarterback, I don't see this team as being any different than it was last year.
So you think they'll be
Anderson, you have McCaffrey and all that. I don't really see, you made a change at quarterback, and hopefully Darnold, everybody feels bad for what happened with the Jets and everything, and hopefully he does well, and hopefully he has some chemistry there, especially with a familiar face with Robbie Anderson and things like that. But I mean, I really, from a management standpoint, I don't really see that they did anything so drastic to change the team from being anything more than what it was last year.
So you think they're still like a 6-win team? I necessarily
see that they're worse, but I don't really see them making any dynamic strides in the up direction. I don't know what the hell Matt Rule's all about. I really don't.
Yeah, the jury's still out on him.
I don't know what the hell I mean, other than being a preacher or whatever the hell he is, and like a freaking he's more like Tony Robbins than he is a freaking Vince Lombardi. You know what I mean? Other than that, I don't really know what the hell a guy brings to the table as a coach. I really don't.
Josh says, I have no faith in Carolina. Snug says Sam Darnold for 2021 MVP. Ben says Woodley and Jake Paul scuffled.
I heard about that.
Talk trash with Woodley's mom at the presser.
Who cares? That's all a show. That was all a show. Go ahead.
Carl says, did Tyler just say January 6th wasn't a riot? And then Snug says Robbie Anderson with excellent
Ever heard of a peaceful riot before? I haven't.
How about you, Tyler? Why does everybody love the Panthers this year?
I have no idea. I can't tell you. I agree with Sensei and I agree with what you're saying. I don't get it. McCaffrey will have a great year. Darnold will be vastly improved from his Jet tenure.
You really think so?
That Darnold will be better?
Vastly improved. Now, Darnold had, 3,000 yards last year?
All right. So he'll throw 4,000.
You think he's going to throw 4,000 yards?
They're going to be behind a lot. So, yeah, he's going to throw 4,000
I don't know yards. I don't know if they're going to be behind a lot. I mean,
that defense. I don't think that defense.
They played a lot of close games last year. I don't know if they're going to be blown out.
They got a good front four. I mean,
Perriman and Thompson are good linebackers.
Isn't Perriman out for the year?
Is he?
Didn't he just get hurt yesterday?
Oh, maybe.
I remember reading something about Perriman yesterday.
He did get hurt.
So
I don't know if he's out for the year, but
and then I don't trust their corners. Jeremy Chinn's all right, but. That's it.
Well, Dante Jackson's a good 2. He's just not really a 1. And
they're saying Jace Horn's going to be 2.
Well, really? He'll evolve into 1.
And another thing, everybody keeps saying because the Buccaneers brought back all their players, they're guaranteed a Super Bowl contention. Now, they're bringing back all the talent that they brought back it definitely is a spark to say, oh, my God, they could be contenders again this year. It is so hard to repeat in this league.
By the way,
It
Perriman
is so
got
hard.
traded. He actually got traded to the Raiders yesterday.
Oh, I
So
remember reading something
it is
about
so
Perriman.
hard.
Okay.
It is so hard to repeat. Year in and year out, week in and
He
week
is
out.
injured, though.
And you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yes, they didn't lose any players. Did they get better? Did they get better?
But how do you get better after winning a Super Bowl?
It doesn't matter because last year they were a play away from not going to the Super Bowl. They were a play away not going to the Super Bowl.
But they dominated that whole Super Bowl.
That's
At
fine.
no point did Pat
But
Mahomes even come close to getting that team
again,
back.
Kansas City lost their 2 offensive tackles.
I understand that. I get it. But Lady Luck had it that the Buccaneers had free reign on Pat Mahomes all night.
That's fine. And
I'm
again,
just saying, how do you
who's
get
to
better?
say that JPP is not going to? He's going to be healthy all season long.
I agree with you, but I'm sure there's depth on that team.
Now, I'm not taking shots at the Buccaneers. Tom Brady's there, and that gives them an opportunity to win every single year. But Tom Brady even came out and said the other day that they weren't even at their best. Now, Tom Brady, he that's how he calms his team. He puts all the pressure on himself, and he goes out there and he produces. That's why he's Tom Brady. But for him to come out and say, well, we weren't at the top of our games. We didn't play at the top of the game. In the second half of the season, they were just as good as anybody. So to say that they weren't at the top of the games, how much better could you be? How much better could you be?
That's motivation, though. That's smart for him to say.
Really? That's putting pressure on your team.
Listen, if anyone's allowed to say whatever they want, I'm not questioning what Tom Brady says.
Well, that's great, but it puts pressure on
That's
your team.
not like Joe Burrow
Your
saying
team
that.
is
That's
not
Tom
Brady.
Right.
Your team is not Tom
I think
Brady.
it makes a difference if it's somebody else. Like I think Baker Mayfield did it with the Browns in 2019. They had a lapse bad year that year, and they're young quarterbacks that have done it. Like they overblow their team and then they don't do anything. There's been a couple instances with defensive players, and I think Alshon Jeffrey did it too with the Eagles, and they won the Super Bowl that year. But I would trust it with Tom Brady for sure. Jeff says peaceful.
So you think they're a Super Bowl contender for sure because Tom Brady
contender?
said it.
Yes, I'm not guaranteeing them to go to the Super Bowl, but they're definitely a contender.
Yeah, there's a top 3 team. In
So
football.
you think
sure.
they're going to have better numbers with Tom Brady this year? That's what you're saying. Tom Brady's going to have better numbers than he did last year.
They might win more games, though.
About the same. I don't think it'll be much drastic.
So how
drastic
could
difference.
you take that from Tom Brady? You just said I would take that from Tom Brady and ride with it. That's what you said, right?
Well, no, I said I agree with Tyler where I would trust their that as a motivating cue for their players because he's done it with a lot of different guys with the Patriots. And last year, all the players they brought in, Jeff was saying it, Carl was saying it in the comments section, all these new players all at once. These teams don't just gel overnight and win, and it worked with Tom Brady. So I would trust it with him just because of that.
All right. Are the Rams for real? That's what I want to know.
No.
I think
Are the
so.
Rams for real?
I think so.
No way.
I don't want them to be for real, but
Why don't you want it? Why do you hate the Rams so much?
Well, they moved to L.A. and betrayed their city.
Okay, but that has nothing to do.
So
that's
the
not the
Chargers.
team.
I know.
That's not the team. That's the
No.
ownership.
I'm more hurt with the Chargers.
I'm just saying I'm going to judge the Rams as an analyst and not as not disliking them or disliking them.
Wait a second.
I think they are for
wait.
real.
You said you have a problem with the fact that the Rams betrayed what?
They're
St.
city.
Louis, St. Louis.
By the way, the Rams were LA.
I know that. They were also Cleveland, a bunch of other teams. I know. Yeah, but they shouldn't have. St. Louis didn't do anything wrong to lose their team. They played in a dump of the
neither did LA
stadium.
the first time.
And neither did Oakland losing the Raiders. They just had to play in a dump of a stadium. Yes, Carl, I know football
Oakland
history.
told them to kick him out.
Speedy wasn't
Oakland
alive
kicked
when
them
they
out.
were LA.
I know they were also Cleveland. I know their past.
forgot
I understand that. But again, they only lost the team because of their owner and their stadium was a dump.
What makes you think that they're for
Can
real?
we just go back to 3 divisions in each conference?
What is it?
It was so much more fun
Which one?
when we just had 3 divisions in each
You're
conference.
talking East Central West. Yeah, he's talking East Central.
I
West.
think the NFL they love this. They love this, and I've been hearing that they might bring an expansion team in the next couple of years. I'm hearing so.
From London?
They're gonna if they bring an expansion.
better not.
If they bring an expansion team, they're gonna have to bring 2 of them because it doesn't make sense to bring one of them in. It doesn't fit. Even if they're adding the extra game every single year, you have to bring in another team.
Right, but what division do you put them in anyway?
I don't know. I'm just
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know what they're doing, but I heard through different people, I've heard different stories that there could be very much an expansion team coming out in the next 5 years. So if that's the case, and Roger Goodell loves this because this puts money in the NFL's pocket. More
All
money,
I know is if it's in
more
London, you're going to
cities.
see the NFL crumble.
But I don't know about crumble. I mean, the NFL is God right now. That's what it is.
They're not going to crumble over an expansion team.
Not at
I don't
all.
know. I don't think the London
go-
experiment is going to work, but that doesn't mean the NFL is going to crumble.
Watch.
But
Watch how many people stop watching
but,
the NFL because they feel betrayed
Is
by
Cri-
the
is McVay's job on the line this year?
No,
No way.
I think the GM is not the.
I think it's
not
McVay's job.
McVay.
I think it's McVay's job.
Because the
Why?
GM was the one that gave all those draft picks for Stafford.
Because McVay, no, first of all, McVay said that he can win with Matthew Stafford. That's what he said. So he did whatever he could to trade Goff in those 2 first rounds. You think McVay had nothing to do with it?
No, I'm sure he had
Stafford.
something.
He had a lot to do.
Stafford's
with
a
it.
I'm
huge
sure he had
upgrade to
something.
what McVay is used to. Matt Stafford can make every throw we've ever seen a quarterback make. Jared Goff does not.
But the reason I think that they are still going to be a very good team is that they did it, like I was saying with Tampa last year, they did it with a lot of new players all at once on that defense. That defense was great all at once with like these new linebackers, new safeties. They lost a ton in the offseason. And then same thing with their offensive line. They had Andrew Whitworth out much of the year. All those young guys stepped up and played well. And I think between Brandon Staley taking over for Wade Phillips the way he did last year and making that defense great all at once, and now he's gone, I trust their culture, that system to do well, to at least make it. Will they win the division? I'm not sure, because the 49ers are the best team when they're healthy. But how healthy are they? Arizona's improved, but they're definitely still going to be a playoff team. I think still one of the top teams in the West. And again, that LA storyline could be something that could be an incentive for them.
McVay, is he a goner if they lose this year after making that big trade? Anthony, do you think it's a must-win year for them, especially in the Super Bowl? The Super Bowl is in L.A. this year, so this is a very good chance. If there's a chance, and by the way, Matthew Stafford went home. He's from L.A. That's where he is. And by the way, his best friend, Clayton Kershaw, is there too. So do you think this is a must-win year for the Rams? If they don't, is McVay gone?
I don't think it's just for McVay. I think it's for Mike McCarthy, a must-win too. I think both of them are on the hot seat.
Well, I've said that over and over.
And here's the thing, and it's kind of funny when people bring up the whole Hard Knocks thing. Hard Knocks, first off, I mean, when you watch it, it shows a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff and everything. But the one thing that it definitely shows this year, and I'm not blaming it on editing or anything like that, there is no maturity in that team. None. And even in the coaching staff, when you see it, it almost looks like the lunatics run the asylum over there. And even when it comes to Jerry Jones, he doesn't have the same handle on that team like he has in the past at all.
That's where I disagree
and I don't know
with
if
you.
it has to do with age or anything like that. Maybe it does have to do with age, and he needs somebody else to be the GM and such. It's not just McVay. I think McCarthy is gone too if they don't have a winner. Especially you have Dak, and you know what I mean. You have ultimately all your pieces there this year on both teams. Brand new quarterback and a very good quarterback with Stafford, because Stafford had really good numbers. He had top 10 numbers with a piece of crap team like the Lions over the last 8 years that he's been in the league probably. And now you're giving him a whole bunch of toys that he's never had a collection like this ever. And I understand, Akers is out and such, but Sony Michel, the way Sony Michel was used for so many years in New England, he didn't get bounced around like most running backs do. He'll give you something. You know what I mean?
He was good in the playoffs.
Those 3 yards that you need, those 2 yards you need, and you play him in there with Henderson. But I know we're expanding. I know expanded over to the Cowboys, and I'm not saying it because I'm a Giant fan or anything. I'm saying it because it's absolutely true. I am probably less worried about the Giants playing the Cowboys this year than last year, and that's with CeeDee Lamb and all those guys and everything. Because honestly, I just don't see them progressing at all. And McVay better hope, when you get a quarterback like Stafford and you made that much of an upgrade, the playoffs I don't think is going to do it, because he made it to the Super Bowl with Goff. If he doesn't make it to an NFC Championship game or a Super Bowl, I still think he's gone.
Carl says
they're really raising. I think they're definitely raising the ante on him. It's like, listen, we gave you everything you have now, everything you want.
Right.
You have decent tight ends. You have a decent offensive line. You have a great defense. We gave you a quarterback that is probably pumped as hell when he found out that he was going there, and he's going home. You have no excuses. He is the one head coach out of the whole damn season. I mean, out of the whole league that has no excuses not to win that division and go very, very far into the playoffs. And like I said, it's probably NFC Championship game or bust. You can't go. That's it. Especially if you make the damn Super Bowl with Goff.